Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer. You know, a friend of mine recently asked me, can you hear the blood pumping through your own veins? And I told him, yes, you can, but you have to listen very closely. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Legendary Annihilation from Upper Deck. Hello, everybody. We'll get back to the review in just a second. I just want to take a moment to ask you to go ahead and check out and subscribe to my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history and fun things like that. Please check that out. Please subscribe. And now, back to the review. Legendary Annihilation from Upper Deck is an expansion for your Legendary Marvel game, and it's going to bring back the Fantastic Four, and let me tell you, they're pretty fantastic. This expansion boasts some new villains, new heroes, new masterminds, new schemes, and all sorts of kooky goodness. First of all, you have some keywords. Some of them are new, some of them have been around a while. You have Focus. Now, we saw Focus in the original Fantastic Four game. Essentially, Focus allows you to use attack points or recruit points, depending on certain ways pointed on the card. For instance, it may say to recruit, draw a card. You can keep doing that. Keep paying to recruit, drawing as many cards as you want, provided you can meet the cost. There's Man and Woman Out of Time. How this works is once you play a card for its abilities, you can go ahead then, if it says Man or Woman Out of Time, you can set the card aside. When you draw your hand up to 6, and then on your next turn, before you play any of those 6, you put that Man of Time card or Woman Out of Time card in front of you, and you can go ahead and take advantage of its abilities and its strengths, recruit and attack, and then play your cards. You have momentum. Momentum is kind of a fast-moving invasion. And essentially how momentum works is if you play a card with momentum, usually it'll say, you know, if +3 momentum if you move this turn. So if the character actually moves from one villain space to another, they get that momentum, but only if they move on that turn. There's also mass momentum, which Masterminds can manipulate in order to make them more powerful as well. There's also Conqueror, which is a keyword we've seen before, which means if a villain is on a certain space, the bridge, the rooftop, or whatever, they get they become so much more powerful. If it says Bridge Conqueror 3, then that person gets 3 attack value, costs 3 more to defeat him if he is on the bridge. There's also Galacticus Consumes Earth. That is something that can pop up, which essentially means you put wound cards on top of the city locations, which in effect means you cannot use those locations, and the kind of world, the track that the villains go down becomes smaller and smaller. Now you have 2 new villain groups. You have the Timelines of Kang, which Kang uses, he always leads, and then you have the Annihilation Wave, which Annihilus always leads. Speaking of those big baddies, our masterminds are Kang and Annihilus. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kang. Kang the Conqueror is 8+ to defeat. He has Conqueror 2 for each space under a time incursion. Now, as I say, he always leads the Timelines of Kang, and a Master Strike becomes the time incursion. Essentially, you put it above the rightmost city space that does not yet have a time incursion. Annihilus has Mass Momentum 2. He always leads the Annihilation Wave. Now, his Master Strike ability is to reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's a bystander, Annihilus captures it. If it's a villain, it enters the city, captures a bystander, and moves forward 1 extra space. But let's go ahead and take a look at those sweet, sweet new heroes. The heroes in this set are Brainstorm, Mr. Fantastic, Heralds of the Galacticus, Psylord, and Super Skrull. First of all, you have Brainstorm, which is kind of a variation on the Fantastic Four here. But let's go ahead and take a look at her most powerful card. Brainstorm's most powerful card, Protege of Dr. Doom, is a cost 8, and it's got a variable 4 attack. Use one of Dr. Doom's mastermind tactics. You can't use any of them more than once per game. If you have already used them all, you just get +4 attack instead. Mr. Fantastic's most powerful card is Fantastic Four United. Now he's a cost 7 with a 2 recruit and a variable 0 attack power. The card lets you draw 2 cards, but there's also a focus. For 5 recruit, you can get 7 attack. This is usable only against the Mastermind. The Heralds of Galacticus' most powerful card is Galacticus Hungers. It's a cost 10 card with a variable 8 attack. It reads, if you have played another Herald of Galacticus this turn, destroy the leftmost city space, defeat any villain there, and you get +2 attack for each destroyed city space. If this destroys the last city space, Galacticus consumes the Earth. You win, evil wins, and all other players lose. Psylord's most powerful card is Reshape Reality. It's a cost 7 card with 3 recruit and a variable 3 attack. A focus 3 recruit will get you reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's a scheme twist, you get +4 attack and shuffle the villain deck. It's also got 2 Fantastic Four symbols and a man out of time. Finally, Super Skrull's most powerful card is Put to the Torch. It's a cost 7 card with a variable 4 attack. It's got Bridge Conqueror 1 and Streets Conqueror 1. You may gain a wound. If you do, you get Rooftops Conqueror 4. But now, everybody's favorite part of a legendary expansion, the schemes. There's Put Humanity on Trial. There's 11 scheme twists. You put 11 bystanders next to the scheme face down as galactic jurors. Now each twist gives you a specific challenge to achieve this turn. If you do it, you have convinced a juror and you rescue them. If you don't, you put that juror face up next to the villain deck, voting to condemn humanity. On twist 1 or 2, you have opening arguments. You must discard 3 cards with different names. On twists 3, 5, and 7, question witnesses, you must recruit a hero that costs 5 or more. On twist 4, 6, and 8, introduce evidence, you must defeat villains worth 3 VP or more. Twist 9 and 11, closing arguments, defeat the Mastermind. Evil wins when 6 jurors vote to condemn humanity. There's Pulse Wave from the negative zone. There are 9 twists. On twists 1, 3, 5, and 7, you get a negative pulse. That turn, heroes in the HQ cost -1 recruit, and villains and Masterminds get -1 attack. On twists 2, 4, 6, and 8, you get a positive pulse. This turn, heroes get the HQ cost at +1 recruit, and villains and Masterminds get +1 attack. On twist 9, evil wins. There's Breach Parallel Dimensions. 6 twists. Add 4 bystanders to the villain deck. Deal the shuffled villain deck into several dimension decks, where the first dimension has 1 card, the next has 2 cards, then 3, then 4, etc. The final dimension might not have enough cards to reach its full number. Special rules. Each turn, you choose which dimension you play a card from. All players have focus 1 recruit equals reveal the top card of any dimension and put it back on top or the bottom of the deck. If a dimension ever has no cards left, even in the middle of a card ability, it is destroyed. Mark it with a face-up wound. Twist. Choose a dimension and play 2 cards from it. It's okay if it only has 1 card. Evil wins when at least half of the original dimensions are destroyed. Finally, there's Sneak Attack the Heroes' Homes. There are 6 twists. Each player chooses a hero to be part of the hero deck. Randomly select other heroes up to the normal number of heroes. Each player adds to their starting deck their non-rare cards with different names from the hero they choose and 3 wounds. Twist 1 to 5, each player discards 1 non-gray hero or gains a wound. Twist 6, evil wins. So that's basically what you're getting with this new expansion. Those are some of the cards. I got to tell you, I'm not terribly familiar with the comics, so I don't know exactly what the story arcs originally are here. I will say this is another fun expansion. I really enjoyed it. Particularly, I like the trial. That scheme is one of my favorite schemes ever now. I played it a few times because it's like you're trying to convince jurors, but what that means is on scheme twists you have to do specific things. You have to recruit certain cards or defeat certain cards, and I really like that. I think that's a really fun and interesting way to play. It's like little goals you've got to get within the game. And I mean, I played some other schemes before that are kind of like it, but I really like the theme of it, and I really like the way it's presented here. One of my favorite schemes. I also like the negative pulse, positive pulse one. That was kind of cool. From twist to twist, you may get an advantage or a disadvantage on that particular round. I really like that. Generally, too, I liked Kang and his time incursions. I thought that was kind of a fun new thing to play with. And I also liked when the spots on the board would be destroyed. You'd put the wound card over the spot, and it's done, and it shrinks the space. Makes it a little more intense, makes it a little more... you lose one of your most precious resources in this game, time, with those spaces. And so I got a kick out of that one as well. I really enjoyed it. I remember, it's been years since I played with just the Fantastic Four set. I got it not long after it came out, and I really enjoyed it. I really thought that one was a fun one. I remember it was pretty hard, but I really liked it. And I really like this one too. I really think this it just presents some really fun scenarios with the schemes, and the characters are fun. They are powerful. I like the focus ability here we've seen before, and I also like the man out of time, woman out of time. How you know, and again, there's similar things to this, but you set it aside, but immediately it goes in first. You have to play that first to get the abilities from it for other cards, but it can really help your hand when those things come up, and sometimes there's conditions or other things that happen that give a card that ability, and so that's really cool. I really enjoyed that as well. Overall, I really liked Annihilation. I think it's a solid expansion. It's you know, I kind of have, you know, my favorites, and I have kind of my lesser ones. I definitely put this kind of on the upper tier. I don't know that it's necessarily my favorite or even among the top tier, but it's definitely in that direction. So a recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Legendary Annihilation is buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, I really would love it if you would check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where, as I say, I take a look at books on military history. Occasionally, I kind of delve into topics on military history. Please check that out and subscribe to that channel as well. Please give this video a thumb on Board Game Geek. That helps us out a lot as well. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I recently saw an Apple store get robbed. I guess that makes me an eyewitness.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I've been dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
I knew there was something wrong with the universe. Look at what's happened to my baby.